Isla Sauria. This island, this place. It was supposed to be the home of a modern miracle. Experts in our fields, we were sent here before the park opened to give it our seal of approval. What we saw, we couldn't believe. A wildlife park with living, breathing dinosaurs. But then it all went to hell. The island's volcano started to erupt. The power went off. The dinosaurs got out. Sauria, a dinosaur island survival game for 1 to 5 players. Compete with one another to accomplish your secret goals and earn as many victory points as possible. Fight vicious dinosaurs and avoid burning lava. Find life-saving items and weapons. And work together to reach safety before time runs out. Get your friends together and hold on to your butts. Because on Sauria, if you're lucky, you just might survive.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ember Mine. So, today, I got a box. This, I kind of have already opened it because I wanted to make sure that I got it opened without the use of a knife, because that, I believe, is against one of the YouTube guidelines, because some kid might actually hurt themselves. Whatever, either way, that's why it's already opened. And anyway, this comes from the channel's first sponsor. So let's get some of this packaging out of the way. Okay. And I'm also trying to make sure that my shipping information is on this side. But here we go. Sauria. So, we have our very first board game on the channel. This was sent to me recently, and wow, this artwork is amazing. You can just tell that it's supposed to be Jurassic Park, but it's not, for copyright reasons. But yeah, that's like a Charlie looking raptor, if I understand. I'll make sure to get some better footage of this up close. However, I'm going to read the front or the back to you. Take on the role of one of 8 characters that find themselves in an advanced dinosaur theme park, when suddenly the island's volcano begins to erupt, shutting off the power and releasing the park's dinosaurs. With limited supplies, no help on the way, and dinosaurs around every corner, do you have what it takes to make it out alive? Work quickly to accomplish your secret goals and score the most victory points to win the game. But don't forget about reaching safety before it's too late. Move through the island's locations in search of weapons, supplies, and tools to help you survive. Trigger special encounters that create epic thematic moments. Stumble across dangerous spaces that put you in immediate peril, and much more. Load up on weapons and take on the most dangerous creatures that have ever walked the earth. Use your character's traits and special actions to take advantage to outthink dinosaurs and even other players. Survive. Time is short, and the odds of your survival are low. Can you work alone? Will you be forced to work together? With deadly carnivores on the prowl and burning lava destroying the island, how will you survive? So, this is actually some pretty nice artwork. I can't wait to get right into this. I'll see you in just a moment. So, myself and 2 others actually just finished playing the game. This was a lot of fun. Now, my group that I played with don't typically play this intense of board games. We typically stick to Clue. So this was definitely a new experience for us. And all 3 of us definitely enjoyed it. Being avid D&D players, we were actually able to put ourselves into the minds of the characters, and it helped us enjoy the game quite a bit more. Now, the first couple of rounds were a little daunting as we were still trying to figure out what our characters were and how the game played. But by the second or third round, we got so into it that we were actually trying to make sure that we weren't fighting over each other to be able to get to the next cards that we were supposed to do to continue the game going. So it took us about 45 minutes once we opened the box because we wanted to familiarize ourselves with all the ins and outs and the intricacies of this game. We wanted to make sure that we enjoyed it as best as we possibly could. Being D&D players, that was kind of something that we do on a regular basis when we play that game. Anyway, back to this. So it took us right around 45 minutes. However, when you go to play it, it should only take about 10 minutes to do so. Again, we were just familiarizing ourselves with the aspects of the game and just trying to make sure everything was there. As for the setting up process, we copied exactly how it was in the setup book, the rule book, which is right here. And we tried our best to make sure it looked as best like this in the end setup. Now that, once we got the hang of what pieces were what cards were what, that came together fairly smoothly. It was within the last 5-10 minutes of that 45-minute session. Now for the game itself, it took us almost 4 hours. However, on the Kickstarter, it says that it should only take about an hour and a half. But that was partly due to us not being able, as familiarizing with those characters. And then, once we got it, the game was great and we were hooked. Honestly, I cannot wait to play this game again, as well as its expansion, which is on its way up, but I'll talk more about that at the very end. The game's characters are heavily based off of Jurassic Park characters. You've got the paleontologist, you've got the scientist, the chaotician, you've got the hunter, you've got the counselor, you've got the saboteur, you've got the ranger, and the photographer, each one basing off of some of the main characters of the Jurassic franchise, specifically of those first 3 movies, you know, the ones that actually everybody loves. So there are 22 locations, which I will save those for later. I'll pop up a picture of the card here. And there were 16 dinosaurs. Again, another picture will be up here of the roster. We've got the Allosaurus, the Triceratops, the Ankylosaurus, the Tyrannosaurus, the Giga, Spinosaurus, 2 raptor variants, the Dilophosaurus, a Pachycephalosaurus, Suchomimus, Iguanodon, Ceratosaurus, Stegosaurus, Compsognathus, and finally, the Gallimimus. However, there was also a Brachiosaur mentioned on a card as well. I figured that was worth mentioning. So when playing the game, we actually had the card Pachycephalosaurus come up, and my sister, who played Dr. Sorkin, so actually at one point we had a Pachycephalosaurus card come up, and my sister was questioning how to say it, and so I said Pachy, and then her response was, well, that's the dumbed down way to say it. Can we refer to Bob to actually how to say it?
Pachycephalosaurus.
So every round is broken down into 5 phases. There is the event phase, the lava phase, which doesn't come into the play until about halfway through the game, the player phase, the dinosaur phase, and the cleanup phase. So as it's kind of explanatory, but the event phase is when you pull a card and it tells you what the main event of that round is. All the herbivores are actually frightened because they can't see in the dark, and this would have given the carnivores an advantage. So we had to put a scared token on all the dinosaur cards that were in play. Next up, we have the lava phase, which again didn't come into until about round 9, which was halfway through the game. And what that would be is when we would pull a card, it would tell us which one of the 4 regions of the island the lava would spread to. So there were red, blue, white, and black regions as well. So next phase is the player phase, where we actually get to move our characters. This took us a little while to figure out because we weren't sure if we had to roll dice or if it was based off of some kind of movement system similar to D&D, or if it was based off of Clue. Granted, going back to Clue, that was the kind of game that we typically played. where every time we would roll the 6-sided die, it would then give us the moveset. And during our every person's turn, with the exception of if an event card said that we had an extra turn, everyone had typically 3 actions that they could take per round. Next up was the dinosaur moves. First of all, the carnivores with the highest health was the ones that actually got to move first. And if there was some kind of combat, which we didn't catch until very, very end of the game, which was the last night, which was the last 3 rounds, that there was actually supposed to have been some kind of combat. Unfortunately, that was something we missed out on. We just, okay, carnivore hit the Gallimimus, the T-Rex hit the Gallimimus is dead. We just assumed, because how low the health the Gallimimus had. That was one thing that we will change and play better next time. And honestly, I'm excited for when the add-on comes out, how much it changes. But anyway, next up, we have the cleanup phase. So if say in that example where the T-Rex hit the Gallimimus and the Gallimimus just died, it was supposed to be knocked over. And so during this phase, we would then remove the Gallimimus from play, remove the token and the card. Or if there was any kind of status effect that was put on the dinosaurs, like the shocked, the aggro, or the scared, then that tile would be removed from that round because it was only for that round. And then each game would progress. Each day had 5 hours or 5 rounds, and then each night had 3 rounds. Again, totaling out to 2 days, which brought the entire round out to 16 rounds. And that took place over the 48-hour period in game. So, at the end of night 1, this would be round 9, that's when the lava comes into play. And from then on, each round, at the second thing, that's when lava would expand out through the entire island. And on one of the last rounds, we actually had lost what in Jurassic Park terms would be the visitor center. And once the lava started erupting, that's when the intensity of the game, and that's when we knew that things were really starting to add up and we needed to get to our goals fast. Once all of us started getting the hang of our characters and what was actually going on with the game, we noticed how just intense and exciting the entire adventure we were on was. We are, as I've said before, we are avid D&D players, so it was easy for us to picture ourselves as the characters we had chosen, and really got into the game. I played the Ranger, which shouldn't be too surprising. My sister, who voiced Dr. Sorkin in our San Diego videos, naturally chose the Scientist, and played her character very close to how you would imagine Dr. Sorkin to react in this situation, even to the point of actually releasing the Giga from its holding pen. And lastly, we had the Chaotician join us as well, and he played it extremely well once he understood his ability, which I cannot stress enough, make sure you are using your character's abilities. We realized that we had them right about halfway through the game, and once we got it, it made everything so much more fun. We had gotten about halfway through the game, and then I make a remark, "Oh, interesting, we haven't had any carnivores out." So what's the very first thing I do? I release the T-Rex. So, by the end of the game, thankfully we all made it out alive. However, we were all rushing to get to the helipad with the exception of the Scientist, who decided that it was best for her to stay on the island and be like a captain who goes down with her ship. And when we got to the helipad section, or the last couple rounds, that's when the intensity really went up because, honestly, all the carnivores tended to just show up right in our area as they were like trying to protect the helipad. Thankfully, every single one of us got out alive. Now, with that being said, I was literally the only one who got wounded the entire game, and I almost got all 5 wound points that would have disqualified me and started me to have bleed out. Thankfully, I only got 3. But again, the Ranger, the one who's supposed to know the park like the back of his hand, my advantage was that I got to see the entire board before any of the rest of the players or any of the locations got revealed. So I knew the map of the island. But I was the one that got wounded the most, and the Chaotician was the one that got out of there completely scot-free, and he had all the weapons, and he had the equivalent of Lex, or Maisie, which we're assuming is the CEO's daughter. And it's just like, really? The Chaotician is the one that got out of it, and not the one that knew the island like the back of his hand. Just crazy timing of it all. If you have any interest in dinosaurs or Jurassic Park, this game is definitely for you. There's a lot of homages back to the original Jurassic Park franchise. You know, that we've got the Saboteur, who was obviously Nedry. We have the Hunter, who was clearly based off of Roland Timbo from Lost World. We had the Ranger, which is supposed to be loose. It's like a combination of both Muldoon and Jerry Harding. The obvious paleontologist, which is Dr. Alan Grant. The chaotician, who is obviously Ian Malcolm. The photographer, who is Sarah Harding. All these characters seem to have been referenced by major characters in the franchise. And honestly, that is something that made my Jurassic Park fan just giddy with excitement, because how it was like I was playing these characters that I've grown up loving my entire life. I cannot wait to play this game again. And honestly, if you guys would like to see us stream this game, I would love to if we had the opportunity and people were interested. And just let me know down in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe and like this video, because that'll tell me that you actually really want to see more of this kind of content. This is our first sponsorship video, and I was excited to get to it. And I honestly cannot wait to touch this game again. And, you know, I don't know what more to say except for this game was a lot of fun. And Milan Games, thank you for taking the opportunity and giving our small channel a chance. Just crazy timing that you guys decided to take a chance on a small, just barely 400 subscriber video, or just a very small, barely 400 subscriber channel. And the moment that we actually received the game, the channel exploded. And I cannot thank you, the viewers, the subscribers, or even Milan Games enough for the opportunity that was given to the Amber Mine. Anyway, with that being said, I'll see you guys all next time.
Hey Ember Miners, thanks for watching today's video. Be sure to click the subscribe button on your way out and click the bell icon to be notified of our videos when we upload them. Consider leaving a like on this video so we know that you enjoyed it. Leave a comment about content that you would like to see come to this channel, and be sure to check the description for links to our Discord if you would like to talk to the team more directly. Check out our Patreon if you would like to help fund the team and its upcoming projects. Remember, this is a fan group reviewing the depths of our favorite franchise, and that we are in no way affiliated with the groups and companies that own them. Be sure to support Universal Studios and Amblin Entertainment. This has been an Amber Mine production. Thank you for mining with us.